transformation and development in the field of government procurement. Government procurement is of considerable economic significance at both the domestic and international levels, accounting to a significant proportion of national GDP at the domestic and international levels, accounting for a significant proportion at the procurement of goods and services by government agencies, provide needed inputs and enable government to deliver public services and fulfill other tasks. Ladies and gentlemen, procurement systems have a significant impact on efficiency and the use of public funds, and more generally on public confidence in government and in good governance. Just as government policies must adapt to social, economic, and political forces, so too must supporting functions that enable government effectiveness. Public entities legislating broader operating authority to professionals in public service are among the evolutionary path to greater effectiveness. These changes are growing acknowledgement of procurement value and an expectation that those leading to the function deliver on promise of professionalism. In this time of empowerment of public procurement professionals, best value of philosophies and methodologies are foundational to the greater value to this professional community can provide. Stewardship of public funds no longer equates strictly to lower product or services cost. Rather, public funds should be expended in a transparent, documented, justifiable manner consistent with the ideal of the community and social, economic, and sustainability goals in value. Ladies and gentlemen, procurement professionals are strongly encouraged to gain fluency in the best value practices and methodologies to ensure that they are effectively raised to the challenge of their profession. Since the early 18th century, government organizations have often relied on the relatively simplistic, lower speed process of publicly advertised competition as primary methods for getting value from its purchases. In contemporary thinking, the drawback of over-reliance on the low bid method are well recognized, particularly around potential shortcomings in quality, reliability, and service. Alternate procurement methods that consider and balance multiple issues regarding cost, service, and risk have evolved in response to the limitation and risk of low bid method. Ladies and gentlemen, public procurement professionals are becoming increasingly sophisticated in their undertaking and application of methods to achieve best value, balancing multiple factors regarding cost, quality, risk, and other value. Government increasingly recognize that enabling the use of best value procurement methods by procurement professionals maximizes the value of all procurement and ultimately improve the way they conduct business. These entities are placing order, legislative policies, and procurement statutes and policies that recognize and rely on professional judgment to choose the best selection methodology rather than through prescribed, categorical, the one-size-fits-all approaches. No single contracting method consistently achieves the best interests of the government organization in support of its public mission. Consequently, the professional burden of procurement practitioners is to master understanding and practice with the methodologies and achieve best value. I believe you'll be able to hear more from the esteemed speaker that soon follow. I thank you for your presence and hope that everyone will have a fruitful session today. As for our dear friend from abroad, please take a good opportunity to visit our beautiful country, Malaysia, with a warm hospitality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yang, for the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, cordially I would like to invite Dr. Sri S.K. Devamany, Honorable Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, to deliver the next speech as well launch the Government Procurement and Government Procurement Supplier Certification 2016. Please welcome.
Thank you very much, the Master of Ceremony. A very good morning to all of you all. Thank you very much. You can relax a bit. It's supposed to be a ceremony for launching a certification process, and I think you should relax. I see them very tensed up. Procurement is all about improving the government system. So let's take it easy, relax, and enjoy ourselves today. I'm sure you had a heavy session yesterday. Let me place my salutations before I start my short speech. Of course, the respected Mr. Chor Leong, the President of the Malaysian Institute of Purchasing and Material Management. Thank you very much, sir, for bringing purchasing and material management to this level. And of course, Mr. Malcolm Youngson from Nottingham, the CEO of the International Federation of Purchasing and Supply Management, and Mr. Akini, the Regional Chairman of Asia Pacific, PSN, the presidents of all the affiliates countries, distinguished heads and representatives from the ministries and agencies, and of course the intelligentsia fraternity, the heads of faculties who are offering courses at the tertiary level. Dear friends and ladies and gentlemen, selamat datang to Malaysia. On the onset, I think the challenges of the present day is very increasing, very much different. Malaysia in the new economic model has moved on to a few new frameworks. Given all the media hype about negativity, when humanity dwells or any citizenry dwells on negativity, growth is stagnated. So let's work on the positivity of this nation and also the globe. We were just speaking just now with Mr. Malcolm about what's happening in the presidential election in the US and what has happened to Brexit. It's all about politics of lies. The masses are told the wrong thing. The fear perpetuates in the soul of citizens, and they vote accordingly. So a very nice article in the Time magazine says Donald Trump's approach is working on the muscles of feelings, and Clinton has written 112,000 words of policy statements, which is the muscle of the mind. But the heart wins over the mind. So voting trends will be very much emotional in the future. And whoever wins the emotionalism through the social media will conquer the voting trends. And that is going to shape the future of politics, the future of leadership. Not on rationality, but on emotionality. And if that's going to be the direction, then it's going to be very fragile. Given that framework, our new economic model, I was a deputy minister then, with the Prime Minister's office involving Commando, ETP, GTP, the new economic model. We created a lot of new framework and legislative reforms and regulatory reforms on liberalizing the nation, on economy and FDIs, because we were moving from a developing nation to a developed nation. And it's not easy, because we have been working on 40 years of the same system, on same policies. And when we're moving and shifting to a new dimension of re-engineering the economy, it's changing mindsets. And that is tough. That is very tough to do. So that migration process took a little bit of difficulty, because the government who were running in a system which was already embedded from the bureaucracy of the British refused to reform. And we brought somebody, we call the Devamany, who brought 136 brains throughout the world. Young guys who are in the corporate world, graduates from Harvard, Cambridge, the PM brought all of them, came up with this system of creating a corporatization of the government, running it like a corporate organization. They couldn't accept in the beginning. So there was a massive conflict between the old and the new. So it took about 1 to 2 years to make them understanding through the labs. 1 week of lab, there will be so much arguments and fight, get every stakeholder inside. The government people, the private sector people, the people involved in certain areas. There were 12 areas they narrowed down to. One was the regional development of Kuala Lumpur, because the future of the world will not be on nations, comparing nations. It will be the comparing and competitiveness between cities. Paris will now have to compete with London. It's going to be the future that Kuala Lumpur have to now compete with Manila, Bangkok, and Jakarta, and Singapore. And what you provide in these cities that can be showcased from global competition. So, the greater Kuala Lumpur network, and that's why you can see the LRT lines, you can see the MRT coming, you can see the new Khazanah green of Lake Gardens. A lot of things, it was actually planned long ago, 5 years ago. And the river of life, which really never really took off, which was supposed to be making the river of Kuala Lumpur beautiful. But our dumping culture is different. So we just cannot you can reform physical things, but the mindset is not easy to reform. You'll park right in front of the road, of the shops to purchase things. You dare not walk far. So we have been spoiled to a certain level. So coming back that, I think time is on, huh? Okay, let me share with you, because I think you need to understand this procurement process later. I'll come back to that. Though I've been a teacher for 25 years. So if the people are not listening in front of me, I know my contents are going wrong. Sorry, Mr. Nalke. Okay? So then there are 11 sectors that we focused on. Focus on 11. Look at Samsung and so Korea. They focus only on electronics and automobile. And they excel greatly because they had R&D. They focus, so we cannot be focusing everything. So we found that we want to focus on 11 areas. 1, on social harmony. 2, on economic growth. So if you look at all the sectors, electrical, electronics, all that is education, health services, tourism. So all these were actually part of it. And coming to that, a lot of money has been spent from the stimulus package of that time. And we were recovering from the economic recession, 97, 98, then 2007. Then we were coming out, so we had to pump in money, and procurement was a big agenda in the process. And now you see, we are going to come out with another stimulus package in a reformed manner. Nearly 200 billion with Chinese MOU signed. Another way to pump it, because graduates are not being employed. We cannot allow the Tunisian Arab Spring beginning to happen here. You've got to make sure people have a food on the plate. You've got to make sure the young has got a job. You've got to make sure the prices are under control, but we cannot stop the private sector speculation. So we've got to harmonize many things in a different way. The houses, for example, crazy in Kuala Lumpur. So how do you harmonize this? So many things has to be always balanced to make sure that there's harmony there. So it's bigger than a political scenario. It is to make sure that everybody shares the cake. If there's no sharing, then there'll be warring. So that will be the future of this country. And I think that in terms of policies and directions, we are well set. Implementation is the process, which is a challenge to everyone. Now, how do we deliver? And delivery is one of the major areas of delivery where we definitely government procurement and supply certification processes. Okay, if you look at the global scenario, our image, for example, transparency and good governance will always be the yardstick of FDIs, foreign direct investments. And procurement processes are a very important sanctum sanctorium of that image. if you do not polish, refine, and be transparent in this process, we will always be in the scrutiny of this process. And we will have a lot of people watching us. And big companies will not come because they have got certain standard operating procedures that they have to follow. So if you do not connect and network with that psyche, I think we'll lose out. And now people are going green, so we are now talking green. I'm also Mamangku for Keta now. I'm a standing Deputy Minister for Green Environment, Technology, Water and Electricity. So we are talking about green. And we have spent a lot of money this year on creating this green carbon emission framework. And PM has promised 45% carbon reduction in Paris recently. And we are now working that framework. Even procurements, we are looking at how do you get green procurements to make it, to go to global standards. These are what people are looking at. And the international fraternity will come up with regulatory and law frameworks to ensure that countries in the developing world will follow. If not, they will say, don't go and invest in this country. This is going to happen eventually. So we have to now move forward to that direction. The other part that I feel that I need to share with you is the Alibabas and Amazons are growing. It's a virtual world. Everything is going to be hand-phoned. So how are you going to grow your procurement, your procurement culture, supply culture into this virtual framework? And ensure that your products are sustainable. What you sell is full of integrity, and what you buy is integrity. And that will be the future. Values that will be embedded within the procurement processes. If you cheat once, the whole world will know. Your name will be very popular for the wrong reasons. Yeah. Where do you buy your things? Is it, or these materials that you buy, or you supply, must have that kind of value systems that we all adhere to. So these are things that ethical framework is going to be the future of even procurement and also on material management. So I think I've said enough. So I think the country is moving with you all. My job is to make sure that Mr. Young's framework is, what do you call it, propagated in the government framework. So they came and saw me. I think I spoke to Rahmat Bibi this morning. I'll talk to probably the Prime Minister, see how we can work together, and let you grow and we grow. All the best, and I wish you all the best. So you can smile. I enjoy your seminar today. Don't be so serious. A little bit fast. Just enjoy yourself. We should change our seminar style to be a friendly environment. The world has changed. It cannot be dinosauric. We need to change. And be very simple. People want to be very simple. So in Malay they call it mengkaki makan budaya. Salam makan dan salam sejahtera. I'm very proud to officially open this seminar today. Thank you.